Once you have a good character or characters, you need a setting, you need a place to put them. So, setting is the literal place and time in which the story occurs. There is a social context, and it's always related to time and culture, which means it has to be believable. If you are setting a story in Victorian England, all the details have to support that. Setting is meant to create a mood for the reader and enhance the characters. So, sometimes the character will belong in the setting, and sometimes they'll seem alien. If you've ever read the Mark Twain Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, the main character, is very alien. He is a Connecticut 19th century person, Yankee, who has been transported to King Arthur and Lancelot's time, and so that's a very odd place for that character to be, but of course that's the whole point. The setting doesn't have to be real, of course, think of science fiction, but even if it is fantastical, you need to make the reader believe it is real and be consistent with details. So, of course, again, using Harry Potter, the world in which Harry Potter lives is real, but in our world we don't have magic. But they integrate it so very well that we just kind of take it for granted that there's this culture of magic that muggles don't know about. Or, for example, if you watch Star Trek, you have things like Vulcans and Klingons, and they have their own homeworlds, and they have their own place where they live and exist and function. And we can believe that those places exist because they're well described, or in the case of television, well shown. A couple other functions of setting. There are types. These are the types of setting. Generic means that the story could happen anywhere. Those people don't describe setting very well for a reason. They want you to be able to focus on the story and put them anywhere. So a lot of times in drama, you'll see the setting, a school in the USA or a farm. And that's just meant to let the director's mind go wherever it wants to go. Harder to do in a fiction work. When it comes to backdrop, setting is a more specific place, but it's not meant to do anything per se. It's just there so that you know the characters are moving in and around this world. So a farm in Nebraska is more specific than a farm. But it's just telling you, well, this is the specific type of farm. You're on perhaps a corn farm in Nebraska versus you are on a tree farm in Minnesota. So not very interesting. Local color, that is unique to a particular place. So a castle in Austria, or you are in Alaska. Now you are in a very, very particular place, and one would assume that setting is going to somehow influence character a little bit more. Place as a character, this is in the Man versus Nature when you get to the plot lecture. So in the movie Alive, these people crash and they are fighting nature to stay alive, and nature is impersonal and not necessarily being cruel. Nature is doing what nature does, but it seems like a character because the people characters are fighting it so hard. Metaphor or symbol, the setting in that case is symbolic to the story. So Shakespeare's The Tempest, it's about, if you recall, it's been a long time since I've even read it too, but The Tempest is on an island and there literally is a tempest brewing and all this fun stuff going on. And that's integral to the story. Whoops, sorry about that. I'm getting emails while I'm contacting you. And then how do you create good setting? Description. You have to consider your characters. You have to consider the theme. But setting is very much a show situation. You need to show the reader where your characters are to engage them. So I don't have a setting assignment per se, but this will help you. Description. That's why we do it. So good luck using setting in your creative writing. As always, email me if you have any questions.